Hi already. So like I said, I was doing one summer fun for you guys to enjoy. And for our last show,
Hello, Williamson County. I'm Carrie Hudson, and welcome to It's About You, an informational program about the classes, activities, and special events of the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. Well, Happy New Year, Williamson County. As hard as it is to believe, another year has come and gone, and as we settle down from all the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, Williamson County Parks and Recreation wants to remind you about all the great amenities and programs we have to offer. Now, I know January is not when you would typically think about swimming pools and aquatics programs, but with 3 indoor pools included in our facilities list, we offer great aquatic programs year-round. We also have some exceptional seasonal aquatic programs coming up the first quarter of this year that we want to let you all know about as well. So joining me today to talk about all these great upcoming activities is Aquatics Coordinator Bryce Bradley. Bryce, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you in. I look forward to our biannual appearances where we can talk about some of the great aquatics programs and things that you guys have planned. One of the things that you do every year through the Parks and Recreation Department is a series of American Red Cross lifeguard training classes. Those are coming up starting the first quarter of 2013. So let's talk a little bit about what these programs are and give us kind of a description of these training courses and what materials covered in them.
Sure. Well, we offer 5 classes a year, basically starting from February and up until the end of April. So of those 5 classes, we'll accept 15 participants per class. It's going to get everyone after the pre-course test. You know, once they pass that, they'll pay the fee for the class, which is $125, and then the class will get them certified in life-saving, AED, and first aid and CPR. So they'll be all taken care of. Those certifications are good for 2 years a piece for each one.
Now, starting out as a pool manager with Parks and Recreation several years ago, you actually instructed a lot of these classes. So I know how important they are to you and how serious you really do take them, because these people who take these courses are basically putting themselves in charge of other people's lives.
Right.
So it takes a very dedicated and very responsible person to really effectively take these courses and be able to pass them.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, in the summer it's so busy, and you just got to be on your game, and that's why we do, you know, take it very seriously when it comes to life saving.
And these make great job opportunities. I know throughout the year we have a staff of lifeguards that we keep up for all of our year-round operations with our indoor pools, and then of course our staff increases in the summer months when we open our 3 outdoor pools. And I know that typically you guys do hire lifeguards, you know, throughout the year. So people who take the time to get these certifications, it does make for a good job opportunity.
Definitely, yes.
And in saying that, though, I think we probably do need to clarify for people, just because you register for one of these classes with Parks and Recreation doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a job with Williamson County Parks and Recreation. But in saying that, the certification that you all use is the American Red Cross Lifeguard Training Program.
Great.
It is a nationally recognized certification, and really it's probably accepted at most aquatic facilities in the Middle Tennessee area, so it can be beneficial for jobs in multiple different areas.
Yes, definitely.
Let's talk a little bit about the courses themselves. You said earlier that you can take up to 15 participants per course. There's only 5 courses offered throughout the spring. So, you know, doing a little bit of math, you know, there's going to be only 75 people that are going to be certified over the course of our entire programs. But for those few people who do want to go through with this, let's talk a little bit about what it takes to take these classes. First off is age. I know a lot of people probably associate lifeguard jobs with high school and college kids, young adults, basically, but they really are great jobs for a variety of ages. But there is a minimum age qualification, so kind of walk us through that.
Okay, the minimum age requirement is going to be 15. You have to be 15 before the last day of class, which is test day. So if you're 15 prior to that day, you can get in the class, and obviously, you know, we we'll accept applications from a 15-year-old if those requirements are met.
Yes. So technically, an individual who's 14 could register for this program and take the class as long as they are legally 15 years of age by the time they take the exam, the last day of class.
Correct.
So again, young kids, but with all the training that they go through and things like that, they really come out well prepared to handle these types of jobs.
Yep.
And then let's also talk about the cost. You said it's $125. You know, I would be willing to bet you would probably not find a full, complete certification course where your materials and your certification were included for that low a price.
Right, yeah. It's really low. Which,
I know you guys work hard to keep it that way.
Right, yeah, we do. And, you know, we want to offer it to everybody. And, you know, like you said, I mean, anybody can take the class. You don't have to work for us, but we do highly recruit within the class.
And it's a wonderful opportunity. Do want to know, though, that cost is divided. $70 goes to Williamson County Parks and Recreation for the course. $55 goes to the American Red Cross for the actual certification.
Right.
And then the other thing we want to talk about is the pre-course swim test. So everyone who registers for a lifeguard training course must pass the pre-course swim test that you do the first day of the class in order to complete the program.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if you're wanting to be a lifeguard, you do have to have some fairly strong swimming skills.
Yep.
It's part of the job description. I think most people would naturally associate
sense,
that.
yeah.
Yes, it does. It makes sense. Tell me a little bit about the structure of the pre-course swim test and what different components are required through that.
Sure. The first thing with the pre-course is going to be the 300-yard swim. They have to swim 300 yards without stopping. They can't hang on the side. It has to be a kind of continual motion and really just kind of perform you know, proper technique. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, there's things that we're looking for: rhythmic breathing, head underwater, those kind of things. And once that's completed, that is not timed at all. It's just, you know, you take your own time. It's not a race. All you got to do is complete it. Once that's done, there's a 10-pound brick that is dropped into the pool, and they have to go to the bottom and get it and come back up with both hands on the brick and swim backwards about 20 yards. And that is timed. It's about a minute. It's a minute and 40 seconds that it has to be completed in. But typically people finish it right around a minute. So plenty of time to get that done. It's really not a race, but you know, it's not that difficult, but it can be done. And then after that, it's 2 minutes of treading water, no hands. So the hands have to be tucked in and just all legs. So once that's completed, we're good. So we just move on to the course and get started with that.
And in all fairness, we don't ask that people pay the course fee till after they've completed that pre-course swim test.
That's correct, yes.
All right, I want to talk a little bit more about the pre-course swim test because I'm just interested.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I would think a lot of people might assume to be a lifeguard they would have to be a fairly competent swimmer. I mean, are you kind of looking for people that have been swimming for multiple years, or are these kind of swimming criteria components in the pre-course swim test that just even rec swimmers could do?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we have year-round swimmers that take this class all the time, and they, you know, they're good at it, but there's some that aren't the best. But like I said, we're not looking for the best. It just has to be.
You don't have to be an Olympian.
Exactly, not at all. As long as you can get it done, we're good. You know, and we know what to look for and things like that. But yeah, definitely don't have to be an Olympian.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the classes themselves. You mentioned earlier that there are going to be 5 classes throughout the spring. You actually have two locations, that you'll be doing these classes at. Your main location is the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood. That's the location of our natatorium. You know, that's our big pool. That's where all of the pre-course swim tests are done for every course, regardless of where the course content is reviewed. And then you also do course content classes at the Longview Recreation Center in Spring Hill. One of the things, though, that is very key for these classes, and before we even get into the dates and times of these classes, want to let people know that advanced registration is a priority with these classes. There are specific registration dates that are set out prior to the start of each individual session, and individuals do have to register in person for these classes, and I'm sure that's probably attributed to the small class size that you have for each program, only being able to take 15 participants per class. So it is important to note that in-person registration is required for these programs, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the person taking the course, right?
That's correct.
If a parent
Right.
or a guardian or even a friend or associate can do that as for them as well, you're basically on registration day just looking for a name, phone number, age, and current address.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, well, let's talk about your classes.
Okay.
First one's the early bird class.
Of course.
First class of the season. It's going to meet February the 23rd through March the 9th, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood. Mondays and Wednesdays are evening sessions from 5 to 9 p.m., and then
Correct.
Saturdays all day from 9 to 5.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about kind of the breakdown in this class. I mean, obviously your first day is your pre-course swim test, but then after that, do you just kind of jump into the material and start getting people kind of entrenched into everything that's covered in it? Because these classes are about 3 weeks each, so you've got a lot to cover each individual time you meet.
Yes, it's very structured. You know, everything's just going to flow from one thing to the other. You know, we're just going to throw a bunch of information on them, hope that they get it. You know, everything's structured out with the American Red Cross training that, you know, we don't move on until everybody kind of gets one part and then we move to the next session. So, you know, once again, it's very structured and it's a great program, and you know, our instructors, all the pool managers are certified, and they teach to the highest quality. And you know, even every now and then I'll jump in there still and get some done.
It's still in your blood,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is. It's hard to let go.
And then there's also a lot of hands-on practice and training that goes with this as well. Participants are getting in the water
Correct.
almost every time you meet, right?
Yeah,
To go
either-
over the skills
right.
that they've learned.
On land skills or in the water skills, yes.
So
Daily.
it's yes.
Yeah.
So it's intellectual and hands-on,
Right.
and making sure that these participants really feel comfortable with the material and the different skill sets that they need to know to complete the certification.
Correct, yeah.
All right, well, the registration for your first session is going to take place on Saturday, February the 9th. It begins at 12 noon at the Indoor Sports Complex. Again, you must register in person, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the class participant that registers. A family member or friend can do that as well. Then you have a session of spring break classes. This probably is my favorite class because you structure it around the Williamson County School spring break, which especially for teens who are looking for summer employment opportunities, this seems to be the best time to take this course when school's out of session, and when, you know, typically all of the other extracurricular activities are kind of on break. You know, if you've got kids that are involved in after school activities for other athletic endeavors or social clubs or things like that,
Right.
they usually break during spring break. So there's a nice wide open calendar week where you can kind of pigeonhole this, you
Right,
know, kind
yeah.
of get everything done in 1 week while maybe all the rest of the activities of their life are kind of on hold. And then that way, you know, you've got plenty of time, you know, throughout the rest of the spring and in April and in May to kind of shore up those job opportunities
Right,
for the
yeah,
summer.
That's great.
The spring break class is March the 23rd through the 28th. It's broken down where you have your pre-course swim test on Saturday the 23rd, and then the class meets every day, Monday through Thursday, March 25th through the 28th.
Correct.
Each day is 9 to 5 a.m. This also is going to be offered at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood, as well as an instructional component at the Longview Recreation Center.
Correct.
But with these classes that meet at dual locations, we do want to remind you, first day of every class, you always meet at the Indoor Sports Complex for the pre-course swim test. And then if you pass that, you pay the programming fee. If you register in Spring Hill, you do all your instructional training at the Indoor Sports Complex. And then you come back to the you do all your instructional training at Longview.
Yeah.
And then you come back the last day of class to the Indoor Sports Complex for your test.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
probably just confused a lot of people with that. My apologies. But in doing this, though, you get everyone together at one location for all of your testing. Your
Correct.
pre-course swim test,
Yep.
as well as your certification tests,
Right.
are at the Indoor Sports Complex. With this spring break class, we're just giving you that extra option of doing your instructional classes at the Longview Recreation Center. And in doing 2 classes during spring break, you're doubling the number of participants that you can certify during that specific time period.
Yes.
And that's great. We do have one more class session that we do want to talk about, but we need to take a quick break. Y'all stay tuned. When we come back, we'll be talking more about aquatic programs with Williamson County Parks and Recreation's Aquatics Coordinator, Bryce Bradley.
Too many of Tennessee's students drop out of high school. If you ask them why, you'll probably hear they just can't keep up because they don't have the reading skills. Success in school is based on success in reading, and learning to read starts with hearing words. With young children, storybook reading, particularly family storybook reading, plays a special and important role.
Had a great, what's the last word?
Mom.
Good.
Have fun with reading. Read the directions on the box and bake a cake together. Create a scrapbook, write a family cookbook, or a newsletter.
That looks like you.
What about the triangle?
A triangle face.
Work with your child to cut coupons and make a grocery list. Write thank you notes to grandparents. Read a book about different occupations. Then ask your child what they would like to be when they grow up.
You could be, maybe. What about an eye doctor, just like your granddaddy?
My eye doctor is much more. He works with some glasses.
He does work with some glasses.
Don't underestimate the impact that reading can have on your child's future. Choose success. Choose reading. This Choose Success moment has been brought to you by the Middle Tennessee P16 Council. For more information about children and reading, contact your local school system.
Welcome back to It's About You. We're talking today about aquatic programming for the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. Before we left for our break, we were talking about our series of lifeguard training courses that we'll be offering the first quarter of 2013. We were talking about the spring break training sessions that we'll be doing March 23rd through the 28th. Again, a wonderful opportunity, especially for students who might be interested in getting their lifeguard certifications, taking advantage of that downtime during the organized spring break and just kind of putting it in there real quick, getting it out of the way, and then like we were saying earlier, still having a couple of months after that to look for a summer job.
Right.
Perfect opportunity.
Yes.
One of the things though that we did not have a chance to mention though is the registration date for the spring break classes. Again, remember our spring break sessions are going to be held at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood as well as the Longview Recreation Center. Registration for either of those sessions will be on Saturday, March the 2nd at 12 noon, and you can register at the Indoor Sports Complex or the Longview Recreation Center, whichever facility just happens to be closest to you or most convenient for you to do so. And then your last session, the last chance class, is in April. It's April the 6th through the 20th. This is another 3-week session that's broken out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. This also will be a dual class with programs offered at the Indoor Sports Complex and the Longview Recreation Center. And again, just remember Monday and Wednesdays are 5 to 9 p.m. Saturdays are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All of your test dates are going to be at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood. And again, that's going to be the first day of class for your pre-course swim test, as well as the last day of class for the certification. And then the instructional parts will take place at the various locations. The registration date for that class, though, is going to be in the end of March, is it? That's going to be, what is it, Saturday, March the 12th?
Yes.
Correct, okay, and that also will begin at 12 noon. And again, you can register at either location where the course will be held in Brentwood or in Spring Hill. And then to kind of round out your training session, you always offer a CPR and lifeguard challenge course at the end.
Correct.
These challenge courses are wonderful opportunities for participants who are familiar with the course content as well as any updates that might have been included within the past year. This is their opportunity to kind of test out and renew their certifications without having to go through the instructional components of a typical training course. These are pass-fail situations though. No content is reviewed prior to the exam, and unfortunately participants who fail the challenge do have to sign up for a full certification course, go through the instructional components again in order to recertify. This year's CPR Lifeguard Challenge will be held on Monday, May the 6th. It is at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood. It begins at 5 p.m. It is $25 per participant, and registration for that will be on Monday, April the 22nd, beginning at 4 o'clock, again at the Indoor Sports Complex. And registering for this challenge course is the same as registering for the lifeguard training courses. You do have to register in person.
That's great.
Wonderful. All right. Well, in talking about what you guys do with that component of the aquatics programs, let's talk about the other things that you all do year-round. Starting off with our water aerobics program. You guys really have a very nice structured water aerobics program. You offer at 3 locations year-round. Those are our locations with indoor pools in Brentwood, Franklin, and Spring Hill. And then just this past summer, you actually started offering water aerobics classes at our Fairview location when the outdoor pool was open and in session.
Yes.
I know water aerobics is a very popular program for you year-round. You have a lot of participants that participate in all your classes. But I think it was really surprising this year to see the turnout in Fairview.
Yes.
The first year we've offered water aerobics classes, and that community took to it very, very well.
It did. We had a great turnout this year with the instructor up there, and it was just a great, seeing all those people in the water just really enjoying it, having a good time.
It was like 30 and 40 people in
it was a lot,
class. I mean, it was amazing.
Full pool.
Love seeing it, and you love knowing that the programs you're offering are what the public want.
Right.
That's always great. You guys offer a mix of water aerobics classes. You have moderate and high intensity classes, so they can be, structured to individuals, physical requirements. Speaking of new programs, though, you guys have also added an Aqua Zumba class at the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood, and I hear that has been exceptionally popular.
It's booming, that's for sure. It's a great program, great instructor, just super
She brings a lot
energetic.
of life to
She
the
does
class,
a lot of
doesn't she?
life,
Yeah.
But it's going really well. We're super excited about that program right now, and just it's going to grow from here. So good things are coming from that class for sure.
Definitely. Probably the best part about the water aerobics program, though, is the flexibility with it. The cost is right. It's $3 per class for an adult, $2 for a senior. And since these are ongoing programs, no registrations required. Individuals stop by at the time that they choose to take the class and can participate at their leisure. You can find complete schedules of our water aerobics classes through our monthly newsletter. You can pick up a free copy in any Williamson County Parks and Recreation facility, or you can go online to wcparksandrec.com. Another year-round program are our swim lessons. We have been fortunate for several years to have an agreement with Excel Aquatics where they conduct our year-round swim programs in Brentwood, Franklin, and Spring Hill. Our locations, again, with indoor pools, because we're just able to program there more throughout the year. And then, of course, the department has their own courses that they do at the Fairview pool, again, seasonally as it's open to the public. But with Excel Aquatics, you guys have really been able to put together a very comprehensive year-round calendar of classes from children as young as 6 months all the way up. And I do have to say, a little plug for Excel. Ramsey took swim classes this past spring. She was 7 months old when we started her in them. We signed up for the parent and taught class, and I felt like I knew exactly what to anticipate because I work with the department and we publicize these programs and it's going to be great. I still was blown away by the program, by the instructors, by just how well they break everything down and how well they know kids. I mean, because every kid's different, but a lot of the instructors with Excel Aquatics have been doing this for so long or have come up through the program themselves and actually have a hands-on experience with it. They're really great at teaching basic skills to children. And of course, with the parent taught class, we weren't learning swim skills. It was just more about an introduction to the water. My big thing was I wanted her to get used to bigger bodies of water than the bathtub before we went to the beach. I wanted her to know that bigger things existed. And from the moment we walked into that indoor pool, she loved it. She loved being in the pool. She loved being in the water. She loved all the games and the songs that they did. And we just carried that over. After the class was over, we'd still go hang out at the pool and do all our same songs and all our same little activities. And she loves the water.
That's great.
It should be, and I'm looking forward to, keeping that up with her over the next couple years, and then when she's 3 or so, really start getting her involved in actual swim lessons because it's a life skill I want her to have to know how to swim.
It's a great skill.
Really is. A lot of the people, though, also usually associate swim lessons with children, but that's not entirely true. Excel offers lessons for adults as well. They offer private and group instruction, so there's really a lot of versatility with these different types of programs. Again, they're offered year-round, and there are monthly calendars of classes. You can get more information from our website, again at wcparksandrec.com, from our Aquatics activities page, or you can also visit the Excel website at www.excelaquatics.org. And then one of the last things we want to talk about are our swim meets. Having an amazing facility like the natatorium at the indoor sports complex means that we get to use it for a lot of really cool things, and some of those are the great swim meets that we're able to bring into the facility, where some truly exceptional athletes have an opportunity to compete, and we get the chance to showcase one of our jewels in the natatorium at the indoor sports complex. When that happens, though, unfortunately, we do usually have to shut the pool down to the public just to accommodate the size of these swim meets. And so I know you already have a couple of dates planned in the first part of this year. So why don't you tell us what those dates are, just so people can go ahead and kind of start preparing their calendar.
Sure. January the 12th will be one, and then actually February 1st through the 3rd are the only two that we have coming up then that'll actually affect the schedule of the pool.
But it's good to go ahead and get those on the calendar and know that they are coming up.
Yep.
Well, first I want to thank you for taking the opportunity or the time to come in and talk to us today about all your great aquatics programs. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. And if you would like more information again about the lifeguard training courses or any of our aquatics programs with Williamson County Parks and Recreation, you can log onto our website, or you can contact the pool office at the Indoor Sports Complex at 370-3471, extension 2122. In closing today, we do want to say a special thanks to those of you who participated in our annual holiday food drive. Through your generosity, we were able to donate several boxes of food to our Williamson County neighbors and friends through Feed America First. We also want to let you guys know about our yearly pass sales and renewals. It's time for a new you in a new year. If fitness is one of your New Year's resolutions for 2013, then the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department has a deal for you to help meet your weight loss and fitness goals. We will be offering a $25 discount on yearly facility passes to new first-time pass purchasers in the month of January. This special pricing is only available January 2nd through 31st during our regular operating hours at the Franklin Recreation Complex, Fairview Recreation Complex, Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood, and the Longview Recreation Center at Spring Hill. So hurry in to take advantage of this great offer. In addition to our yearly pass sale, we'll also be selling our 30-visit multi-visit pass for only $30 during the month of January. That's 30 unique visits for only $1 a visit. That's a 50% savings on their regular annual price. And to our current yearly facility pass holders, we haven't forgotten about you. When you renew your annual pass throughout 2013, you'll also receive a $25 discount, just our way of saying thanks for your support of Parks and Recreation. Our annual and multi-visit passes can be purchased and used at any main Williamson County Parks and Recreation facility across Williamson County and provide access to state-of-the-art indoor amenities, including wellness centers, gymnasiums, racquetball courts, indoor pools, and game rooms. For more information, visit your local Williamson County Parks and Recreation facility or go online to our website at wcparksandrec.com. While you're there, please be sure to review our next round of facility closures. All Williamson County Parks and Recreation facilities will be closed Monday, January 21st in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Facilities will reopen at their regularly scheduled times on Tuesday, January 22nd. You can also get information from our website about our newest special event. In January, we'll be hosting 2 mother and son balls at the Longview Recreation Center at Spring Hill and the Fairview Recreation Complex. These are guaranteed to be once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for mothers and sons to have a great night out and some wonderful time together. Again, more information is available from our website at wcparksandrec.com or by visiting any location to pick up a free monthly newsletter or program and activity flyers. Thanks you guys for joining us for today's episode. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, Williamson County, it's all about you.
So much more gone by already.